Yeah, the bottle is, oh, we're live now.
We're live. We're going to stop that conversation right now.
It's about bitters.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another fantastic virtual tasting of Becker Vineyard. This is week 60, if you can believe it. We are going to be tasting through our May 2021 White Wines Club selections tonight. So we have the new release 2018 Jolie Rosé. We also have our 2017 Viognier Reserve, as well as our 2014 Musket Shannon. So some fabulous wines to taste through, especially since it was like, I think 86 or 88 degrees today. These lovely wines are great for this kind of weather. So I'm excited to get started. We of course have Dr. Richard Becker with us as well. He has a very special guest with him to get started. And we also have our winemaker, John Leahy. And I will turn it over to these fabulous gentlemen, and Kaylin and I will stick on for the virtual tasting as well. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you for yet another great introduction, Rebecca. And hey, wait a minute. Nolan just suddenly grew up.
Right?
Welcome, Nolan. Welcome, Joe. Welcome, Doc. So, Nolan, do you have a few words for us this evening, sir?
I'm in second grade.
Yo,
Yes.
Yeah.
fantastic. Well, yet another excuse to take a drink.
And I'm gonna learn multiplication.
Oh, you are?
It's important.
Have you started yet, or are you going to learn it this year?
I'm gonna learn it next year.
Okay, well, I can already tell you, you're going to be better than I am.
He was a fab student, I'll tell you. They were proud of him.
Right on. Right on.
Way to go, Nolan. Okay. I'm excited about these wines. As we always begin these tastings, just a shout out, remember, thanks to all the people fighting this battle, and our hearts out to the people still sick with the pandemic, but there appears to be a real light at the end of the tunnel now. And I just think if we got a few more people vaccinated, we can escape this thing. Joe?
I'm on board.
And I just want to say, just in line with what my rising second grader said, and that is just appreciation to all the hard work that all the teachers are doing out there. All the teachers that are teaching to kids at home and at school. I think we're all getting back to school, and we're all out for the summer. And I hope our teachers get a much needed break. And I know they have to prepare for next year, but my hat's off to them, and my hat's off to the wonderful teachers at Nolan and Nathan school.
Absolutely. Well, and here's to the teachers. Fantastic. I bet they have a much needed break before we all get going again in the fall. So tonight, in case you're just following along, plus I want to kind of shout out because Angela's back on tonight. I haven't seen you in a long time, Angela. Yeah. So let's try our darndest to give her as much of a hard time as we possibly can. But I want to let everybody know we're going to start off with the 2017 Jolie.
18, John. 18.
Oh, it's an 18. Sorry. In my pack up, it was a 17 bottle.
It's supposed to be the 18 because it's the new release, John.
Oh, well, guess you got the wrong pack up. Gosh, I wonder if I remember what I put in the 18 Jolie. So I guess you guys are going to lead the 18 because I'm quite enjoying this 17. Maybe I should lie. Oh, this is the 18. Yes. So actually, speaking of which, Kaylin, since you took the first sip, you get to lead us off on what you're tasting.
Okay, well, I'm getting lots of bright red fruit, maybe hints of raspberry, watermelon. We just went through this last week, and why do I feel like I'm lost again? Every week I feel like it's brand new. On the nose, there's something a bit candied, maybe like candied cherry almost. But overall, it's a fantastic wine, and I'm very happy to be tasting it again tonight.
Was it the 18 in both of the pack ups?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Then it probably is the 18. I grabbed the pack up you left down there for me. Oh. Apparently I can't read. So Nolan, can you read? Because I'm thinking that might be important.
You can help him get the numbers. He's got it down.
So Joe, what are your impressions of the 18?
Well, I think it's just as we, talk about all the time. I think with the 18s, you just get such incredible fruit, and especially, amazing color on this wine, just because I always think about that year being the very early, very hot summer, and getting the smaller clusters, but the greater juice to skin contact. And I really think it's a beautiful wine right now.
Yeah, it really is. It constantly amazes me how long rosé actually lasts in a bottle.
Yeah.
And I've only been tasting rosés for about 24 years, so I've got a ways to go.
I always like to think about I always like to hear, when you think of, the wines that have that you have tasted in the past, the rosés, the ones that stand out to you that you feel have inspired your palate, or that you think about when you're blending these wines.
Oh, definitely Lancers that came in that little ceramic bottle.
It wasn't this good, John.
Look what you've done, Joe. Look what you've done.
Margaret.
No. I'm
No. Get too late now, lady.
What? I love how you all look. You're beautiful. Your hair's down. Everybody's gussied up.
But you're talking about John?
We washed our hair today, so we figured we'd cut it down.
You look beautiful.
Okay, before we go down that slippery slope on fashion design, I want to remind you, I have the haunt fashion of the Texas Hill Country.
Couture? Is that what you were going to say?
Yeah, whatever the name is. Okay.
So one of the things that Kaylin actually picked up on last week that I'm getting this week as well is the little hint of cranberry as well. So definitely the watermelon, I think, is very prominent in this, but there's also some cranberry to it as well. And I think that might be part of the candied cherry sort of note that you were hitting on. I really like the 18 simply because it is another really refreshing, easily drinking rosé that you can pair with food, or like today, if you had the day off or if you're home from work now, it's great for sitting out on the porch. It is definitely a great porch wine. It also pairs well with some lovely food as well, but it's just a really diverse and great wine that you can do a lot of things with. And like Joe mentioned, the color is just absolutely beautiful on this 18 Jolie. It's really, really pretty. John, have you figured out what you put in it yet?
Yeah, it's the 18. I was just showing the bottle. So, some of us need a little help. Maybe it was my glasses. I'm just saying that by the time I've got the whole setup out here feathered out across the bar, and I've got everything set up, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute, what was that? I leave the bottles in the other room. I should probably put them right next to me. So, but this, the wine is absolutely fantastic. And I love the fact that you called out the cranberry on that, because that's exactly what it's just so intense.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to get fancy and say high bushed cranberry, like the stuff that grows up in Alaska, but it's definitely bog cranberry on there.
John, I think when I taste this wine, I think about your winemaking because there's no sugar in it, and it has incredible fruit character, and the technique of extracting the fruit from the red grape with this degree of sort of lightness and richness is I think amazing. And talk a little bit about how you do that, how you block oxidative processes and unblock them, and it's just for people to hear.
Well, yeah. So part of that, part of this rosé, and of course it applies to the white wines as well, but specifically for this rosé, when we do a direct press on the red wine or when we soignate off of the red wine tank. And then we take that wine and we put it into a very cold tank, let it settle. From that point on, we're constantly gassing it with a heavier than air gas. In our case, we have a nitrogen generator at the winery, so we're able to use that unlimited supply of atmospheric nitrogen to blanket those wines. It figure it out this way. So do you know how when it's very humid and you have an old door and it gets all swollen and it sticks? If you take the humidity away and everything shrinks down, that's what you're doing with the gas. You're taking basically the atmosphere, you're shrinking it down on top of that wine. If there's more oxygen inside the juice and less oxygen in the atmosphere, the juice will release the oxygen to the atmosphere to balance it out. Nature abhors a vacuum, it likes balance. So if there's more oxygen in the atmosphere than there is in the juice of the wine, then the wine or juice will absorb oxygen. We don't want that. So we basically would take that wine and put it in a heavier than air atmosphere and keep that oxygen off of there. Do that throughout the fermentation and early on in the aging process. That keeps all the terpenes bound up. It allows the thiols to develop in the wine. And then at a certain point, we reintroduce the air in one fell swoop, and those florals come rushing out and they'll stay there. We don't burn them off. We keep the fermentation under control as far as temperature goes. Temperature is extraordinarily inhibitive to floral content in the wine. It can blow it off quickly. There are a few other processes that we do as well. And of course, the yeast choice that we make has a huge impact, both not only on mouthfeel, but also on development of those thiols and those terpenes and the manoproteins that exist in the wine.
John, how much Zinfandel in this blend?
I don't know. Let's see. I think I've got to go look. It's probably, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Hold on, Doc. I think it's only about 13%. So like I say, it's a foot's worth of Zinfandel. But yeah, it's a small percentage. So I'm looking at, yeah, today somebody just said, today's weather, hot and muggy, says drink the Jolie. Yeah, when you're in the pool. Oh. So any comments, or do you guys have anything else, to say about the Jolie? We've had this program. Joe, you have to, I'm going to put you on the spot again. You have to say how we came up with the name for the wine.
It's a French word that means pretty, beautiful. We were using it to describe I think we're using it to describe sort of a lovely, delightful wine, something to try in the middle of summer on a hot day like this.
Mm-hmm. Well, might I add that name, that very clever name, is apropos for this wine. It is.
And as bright as this is, this wine will really tolerate being served even colder than we're having it right now. And the only wines of the French ice are Champagne and Rosé. And this one would probably be spectacular, even a little bit colder than I'm currently drinking.
Right. Okay.
Margaret, are you?
Oh yeah, Kayla, Margaret's being very quiet.
Yes.
So, Margaret, do you like to drink this at the Polo Club?
I like to drink this all the time. This is great. And a really nice wine for this humidity and this temperature. I agree. It's fabulous.
Okay. Well, I think people are going to get tired of listening to me cluck. So shall we move on, or does anybody have any other?
I'm good.
We're doing the Viognier next.
Yes.
Yeah. We're gonna jump into the Viognier. We're gonna spend a little time now. I will warn everybody. I'm going to ask you for a food pairing for each wine specifically, since they're three diverse wines. So start thinking about that, Kaylin, because I'm going to put you on the hot seat. And Margaret.
No.
Yeah, Margaret has VLJ.
Yep.
No.
Margaret, you are totally on the hot seat today.
What?
You're totally on the hot seat today. So,
No.
I threatened you last weekend that you were going to be on the hot seat.
Margaret, check your email.
I did. I have it right
Okay.
here. Thank you.
All right, so shall we grab the Viognier? So what glass are you in with the Viognier, Rebecca?
So Kaylin and I both decided to grab, this is the Old World Pinot Noir glass. And I really like that one for the Viognier.
I agree. Man, it's the brown spice comes out in this in the Old World, Hey, okay, when we go to our food choices, nobody can choose gizzards, okay? It's off the list.
Really?
That's all you. I'm good with that. I was fortunate enough that I was never forced to eat gizzards. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so Margaret, I'm going to start with you on the Viognier.
Yes.
And oh,
What kind of question are you asking me?
I'm asking you, what do you think of it? What do you get in the nose, in the taste? What are your opinion or your impressions?
I'm first of all, Viognier is one of my all-time favorites. So I love it, love it, love it. And I believe, to me, what I'm tasting is a lot of the almost, I'm getting peach on this. I'm getting also some nutmeg on this, I will tell you, big time. And I think that it's a nice full-bodied wine, and I just love this. I love this with, anytime that you would have red meat or a white fish meat or something. I think it goes in both directions, so it carries its weight. It's lovely. Mm-hmm.
So Doc, I'm going to ask a very specific question. So on the palate, on your tongue, where does this hit first?
Gosh, I think in the middle. I think of course the aromatic is amazing with this wine. It's one of its long suits, and then there's a lot of kind of peach and apricot and nectarine, those kinds of stone fruits. But for me, I guess the mid palate, and not so much up front. And then the finish is always beautiful with this. It kind of fits the aromatic promise.
Joe, what do you think?
I don't know that I have much to add to that in terms of palate. I think we just the Viognier that we produce in Texas is just I think pretty spectacular. I think this is a Viognier that could really compete on the world stage. I think I don't have much to add in terms of taste.
Well, and that being said, it competed on the world stage. This one did win a gold medal in San Francisco 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
So does anybody else get any dusty broomstick off of this? Or I actually get a little bit of, it's almost like dust or not quite earth, just kind of light there right before it goes into that nutmeg that Margaret was mentioning earlier, which is dominant. This Pinot glass does a beautiful job in bringing out that brown spice. Wow, it's absolutely fantastic. So what do you, Kaylin, Rebecca, either one?
So I'm going to go a little rogue on this, just because I feel like we've touched on the Viognier many a times, and I've given many different descriptors for it. Changing glasses does change the wine significantly. I don't have this particular glass at my house, and so this is my first time experiencing it with this new light on it. So it's really interesting. But I will say, dry white wines were the most difficult wines for me to come around to liking and enjoying, which is strange. So I went, of course, starting out sweets and bubbles and everything like that was fantastic for me. Dry reds came to me and I enjoyed them thoroughly. And it took me a very long time, even working at the winery, to begin enjoying dry whites. I enjoyed dry rosés. And when I finally came around to Viognier, I had gone through my whole Chardonnay Chablis kick. And Viognier, I appreciate just because it is a fuller bodied white wine, but it carries a little bit maybe less acidity than what I would pick up on most Chardonnays. And I think that makes it almost easier to pair with food and makes it so versatile. But I also just want to mention, it has a different texture mid palate, and where Dr. Becker was saying it hits like right there in the middle. It's almost a textural thing. Of course, I do get the fruit notes there and all of that, but I can't quite nail it down, but there's something right there mid palate. So I'm just going to now pass it over to you with all of my weird rogueness that I went on.
Well,
My
I
tangents.
agree with everything you said. That was great. I've always been a big, well, I shouldn't say always. I didn't drink wine really until I started working at Becker.
What? We
then
corrupted you?
I had never really been introduced to, wines really. My mom was 40 before she had her first glass of wine. It just wasn't something we had around. And so I actually started with dry whites. I never did the sweet whites first. I started with dry whites and then very quickly realized that I really love big reds. But the Viognier has been one that for me as a big red wine drinker, one of the things I love about this wine is introducing red wine drinkers to it. And that's one of those things at the winery in trying to get people to understand, don't get hung up in your, well, I only like this, or, well, I don't like that. Because wine is so fluid, not only just within the winery, each winery itself, but within, a varietal all over the world and with all those different winemakers, it is so ridiculously fluid that just because you had, even 5 or 6 of a particular varietal, if they were from different regions, doesn't necessarily mean that you hate that varietal, will never like it. And that's been something that I've really enjoyed, and getting people who say adamantly they're not white wine drinkers to try the Viognier and have them say, I never would have tried that, and I absolutely love it. It is something that I really enjoy.
So I have, I have several family members that come to visit in the summer and things, and some of them are animate red wine drinkers. And so I made a rule a couple of years ago. So I have a pair of 6-foot inflatable pink flamingo pool floats. And if you use the pool float, the pink flamingo pool float, you have to drink the
I'm
Viognier.
sorry.
I'm sorry. You unleashed me upon the world. What I really
Dr. Becker sends a personal apology note to every guest at John's home.
Eventually, they're going to kick me off of these things. I won't have to do them anymore. So, Angela, on a more serious note, there's a 2-part question. And Doc, I'm going to direct the first part towards you. What's the comparison? How would you compare the Viognier to the Chardonnay? What's the primary differences? How would it compare?
Oh gosh. Well, Chardonnay, has a very different fruit note. It doesn't have this this strong peach note. It has pineapple. It has different notes altogether, and it can have a real lightness, a real delicacy. It can have real butter notes, not just from malolactic fermentation, but I think it's there even in the stainless steel non-mallow. It's just a totally different animal. But this is a beautiful wine, John. I think you've won gold medals in San Francisco with most of the Viogniers you made, or even many double gold.
Yeah, we had 2 of them back to back. We had the regular market wine and the reserve wine, both won double golds. Yeah, that was very, very nice. So the kind of back to the glassware before we get to the second part of that, because I want to go back to this, because this old world Pinot, but I also have tried it in this more tulip shaped glass. So Rebecca, just real briefly, 30, 45 seconds, primary differences between the two and what you get from the Viognier, or white wines in general. Because one's milk Chardonnay and one is the
Sure.
Pinot.
Well, so for the Pinot glass, for me, I think it does really well with a more full-bodied white wine, like the Viognier is. So when you have something that has that depth of flavor, it has fruit, it has, that spice, this glass really does a great job of elevating those aromas and placing it on your tongue properly for that type of wine. There is an oaked Chardonnay glass that I'm not really a Chardonnay person, but when I drink oaked Chardonnays out of that glass, I tend to like them. So there's definitely something to it. It's all physics. It's about, how big the bowl is at the bottom, how narrow or wide it is at the top, what you get from the aromatics, where it places it on your tongue, how your mouth approaches the glass. All of those things come into play. And I think really this Old World Pinot Noir glass has always been my favorite for our Viogniers, because it just elevates all of those different aromas and all those different flavors. One of the things about glassware as well that I always like to kind of joke about is that, so Renal makes Old World glassware and they make New World glassware. And the Old World is of course for, European Bordeaux in particular, wines, and then their New World is for Washington, Oregon, California. Really, they need a separate glassware that's for Texas wines, because one of the things that we do with all of our Texas wines is they don't fit neatly into any of these glasses as a rule. A Viognier glass that Renal has isn't necessarily the best glass for a Texas Viognier. And so I'd really love for them to do a whole set of glassware just for Texas. We'll get there.
Eventually. Well, and the point is I've got what I call my Somme glass here that the Jolie is in. I actually like this one too on the Viognier. It's a softer or more cushioned approach to the nose than the Pinot glass, but it does equally as well. So Joe, the second part of this question that I had from online was, how long can we expect this Viognier to age? About how long do you think?
I think we can expect this. I think just given the year, that this being a 2017, and that being one of the, probably the best year we've had in Texas since anyone can remember in our younger wine industry. I think these wines are set up to age for, even as a white wine, I think it's set up to age for 5 years. I don't think it's going to be, 10 years or 20 years like the reds from that year, but I think as a white wine, I think it's set up to age for the long haul, just because of the way you've constructed the wine, the backbone that you've made, the blend, the grapes, the year.
Yeah. Well, and we've gotten a couple of questions about aging, and one of them is, with the older reds, people notice a lot of sludge on the bottom, from like a 20-year-old wine. It's like that. That's not bad. That's just dead yeast, a little bit of tartaric acid that's come out of suspension. It's all natural. It occurs in the wine, that film or thick matter that lies in the bottle. So
right.
With the white wines, you won't get that much. You'll get a little bit, but it's red wines that have a lot more color to drop, things like that.
Right.
So somebody also asked, when will the Renal tasting start again at the winery?
I would hope pretty soon. It would be
the only two people that can make that decision are sitting right there.
I think it would. We haven't really opened up to having any of our chefs' tables yet. We haven't. We're still doing mostly by the reservation. Mostly reservation. I think as we more and more vaccinated and we're feeling a little more comfortable, I'd like to think we could get a few small groups in relatively soon.
I know, and we don't have a lot of information, so we're not going to say it, but stay tuned. Rebecca is working on a event for the wine club, so to be announced.
On a couple events.
Excellent.
Yeah. So, yes, we are reopening, people. Yes, we are inviting you back. Yes, we want you back, and yes, we absolutely love the fact
we are open.
And of course, I know we're open. But what people really want
John,
is everything to be wide.
I want to make a few historical notes about Viognier.
Okay.
Because I want to tell you that whenever I taste a great Viognier, I always think about this wonderful lunch I had at this restaurant called Le Pyramide in Vienne. And Vienne is the origin of the name Viognier. Viognier comes from that region. Condrieu, where it's primarily grown, is 5 miles around the corner, 10 miles. And so this is really a native grape of that region. And this wonderful restaurant, the Pyramid, is named for a Roman obelisk, which is about 25 or 30 feet tall, and which is a remnant of an enormous racetrack, which was in Vienna 2,000 years ago during Roman times. The rest of it's mainly gone. There are beautiful temples in Vienna that survived from Roman times. But I was talking to a friend from Napa last week, and we were talking about Robert Mondavi, and in his autobiography, he said, "I never understood food and wine pairing until I had lunch at the Pyramid." And we had exactly the same experience. Amazing.
Did he wear khaki shorts when he went to lunch there?
So here's the funny thing. So, there was still some decorum in France, and this was 20 years ago. And so it was 104 degrees in the whole week we were in that part of the Rhone Valley. And we'd driven to Pyramid to try to have a meal. I didn't have a reservation. And so we walked in. I had on a blazer just like this, and I walked up to the desk and I said in French, would it be possible for us to have lunch? We don't have a reservation. And the lady said, "I think so. Yes, certainly." And so, and then I took a step back and she saw that I had shorts on like this.
We're wearing your bloomers.
And she gasped. And I said, "We'll stay very close to the table. We're going to eat outside." So
We'll
eat
never
outside
get up. We'll never get up.
under plane trees, 104 degrees. All the waiters are in tuxedos, and I said that we are growing Viognier in Texas. We're trying to understand the subtlety of Viognier. And he said, "Monsieur, I'm going to bring a 5-course lunch for you. Each course paired with a different Viognier from this region." And 4 hours later, the best food and wine pairing experience I've ever had ended. And so it was just wonderful. But I just want to say, when I think about Viognier, I always remember that, that restaurant with the Roman obelisk and this incredible outdoor meal. And it was just one of the great experiences for me.
And you showed up in bloomers.
That's what they thought.
I just have to say, I'm so excited because now I know the origin story of why you sent Brett and Bobby back to their room to put on long pants.
Wait a minute. So the wine club's going to put out a bulletin, I'm assuming, about the upcoming events and when we restart real tastings. Yes. Okay.
Yes, yes.
So people are asking, and I just want to let them know that go on our website to do that stuff.
No, it's a complete secret and they just have to figure it out.
Wait. No, it's not, because we're, it's not like we're the Donkey Goat Winery. We're
Call John on his cell phone and he will have all of the information for you.
I think nobody knows my cell phone number.
I'm just kidding. Of course, I will 100% send out an email with all the links and it'll be on the website. We'll have it on the calendar. We'll put it on Facebook. We'll put it on Instagram absolutely as soon as we're ready to roll it.
And for some reason, if you don't have any of that technology and you want your message delivered by baby goat, we can take care of that too.
Oh, that too. We know a guy.
Unfortunately, we can.
Yes. Oh, okay. I see we Angela wants to know if they'll have to wear pants when they come back to the winery. I'm like, something that resembles pants, yes.
We're still debating.
Yeah, exactly. This is not a bacchanal.
I don't know what this is going to taste like.
Oh, and no, Charles, there's not a secret handshake to get into the winery yet. Yet, I say. So I think it would be really cool, Rebecca, if we had like a wine speakeasy that you have to know the password to get into the special tasting.
Kayla and I have that.
No, it's not. Where are the keys? All righty. Okay, I'm gonna put on your big kid goggles because we're getting ready to shift wines.
Okay.
Okay. So, any other comments before we wrap up on the Viognier from anyone? Margaret, have we given you enough flack, or can we give you some more?
You're good.
You're good.
Love it. Thank you.
All righty. shall we move on to the 2014 Musket Shannon? So I have to say that this is a surprise wine.
Yeah.
So the last time I had it, I'm going to jump the food thing a little bit just so everybody knows. This is not a super sweet wine. It went very well with a nice Cobb salad. But this is a great little wine that we had fun putting together. This is 2014. And I'm very surprised on how well I did not expect it to age this long. And it did beautifully. So
Really
give it a sniff and a taste.
Where are the, I think I miss that I miss Shannon, it's such a wonderful grape.
Yeah, that's from the Martin family.
Yeah, no, I figured it's, I wish we had we haven't been able to really, is anybody really growing Shannon right now? It's something it's sorely needed in Texas.
It is, and it does beautifully in Texas along with Pinot Grigio, which I never thought ever I would say that out of my mouth. Pinot Grigio is beautiful. Since I'm gonna take a break from talking before I do, I will just say that this was the last year that we got that Shannon. So we made this wine, and then we made a regular Shannon out of it. So somebody got to jump in. Doc, Joe, what are your impressions?
Well, it's Sauterne-like, and it's it has this wonderful combination of fruit. And what is the fruit, John?
It's
Gosh,
almost lychee.
I know it is lychee. Yeah, it's lychee. It's it has some.
It has a lot of nice, very kind of bright fruit on the mid palate, maybe just a hint of citrus, and it's obviously slightly different grapes, but it is reminiscent of some of the older Pine Ridge blends. Obviously not Viognier in this, but it's a really wonderful taste. I'm amazed that it's held up so well for so long.
Joe, you are really good. There's just about 0.5% of Viognier in here.
Okay.
I was looking back on my blend notes, and I put a smidge. Literally in the entire blend, there's 50 gallons. So
wow.
It's just a smidge.
Needle in a haystack.
Yes, yeah. And what's funny is that lychee gave away to me to bruised jasmine, or jasmine, which is an incredible depth of note. This wine attracted me more now than it did 5 years ago.
I 100% agree.
Oh, and and you're right. There is a little citrus, a little pine in there.
Yeah, there's an orange sorbet note, John. That's what I'm getting.
Yeah, like an orange zest, an orange sorbet. Oh my goodness.
Well, and I mean, when this wine first came out, there was like bright crisp apple, but now I'm sort of getting almost like an apple, like a apple pie.
Apple turnover. Yeah, I agree.
It's really aged remarkably. I feel like we really underestimated this little wine.
Know it.
And I got a lot of flack when we put this together the first time. From somebody sitting next to Joe.
Well,
Lincoln?
Yeah,
Lincoln.
One of the ducks. Terrible when the ducks get involved.
Those ducks, they move. You got to watch it.
Margaret, what flavors are you detecting here in the?
All that you guys have mentioned, but I also still get some of the peach out of this.
Mm-hmm.
I get that on the front end and the mid, I guess. It's wonderful.
Does anybody else get almost like a really well-aged Riesling diesel edge to this?
Yes.
Like just a hint?
For sure.
Yeah.
I was thinking it and I didn't want to say, because like, well, nobody else is saying that. Well, I don't want to say something that's not on par. I don't know if that's
Go
not
rogue.
nice. Go rogue, I know.
Go rogue. It's your opinion. This is.
I will say that I was impressed with the nose. I poured myself a splash of it and I was like, well, you know, I don't usually love sweeter wines. And Rebecca saw me. She goes, did you already pour yourself some? As I was pouring more. I really enjoy the nose on it. I think it's very floral. I did get that hit of petrol. Beautiful, almost baked fruits, as y'all have mentioned and touched on the palate. It's not overly sweet. I'm pleasantly surprised yet again by this wine.
We rewind that for a second. Did you say Patron?
She did.
That's cool.
I don't know what's in her glass, but I'm drinking wine.
Hints of tequila.
It's that petrol edge.
You know, that's funny.
She's distracted. My dog has come up and is demanding her attention yet again.
If I pick up the glass with my left hand, I'm in trouble.
It's gonna knock it out of her hands. Sorry.
Well, and somebody asked, Rebecca, and I'm not sure because I don't have the information in front of me. Somebody asked, can we order more of this? Is there more of the 14 available to order? You know,
There is,
library?
absolutely.
Okay, so they just need to call
Give us a
Angie
call.
at
830-644-2681, extension 230. And if you call Monday through Friday, chances are you're gonna get Angie, who's my fantastic, wonderful assistant. Or you'll get Kaylin or myself for the most part. And we will absolutely take care of it, ring you up. And you know what's great about being a wine club member is we just go card on file. Yeah. It's so fast, so quick, so easy.
There are a lot of benefits to being
Yes.
a wine club member. And one of
Absolutely.
them is that you get to come out to the winery and I'll come out and personally make fun of you while you drink wine. So,
That's only available Monday through Friday and then sometimes on Saturday.
and Angie is amazing. My friend Sarah just said Angie is amazing. She does. And Angie on Mondays wants to have at least 300 cases to ship out every Monday.
Don't do that to Angie.
She said she wants more.
Angie's so busy, and it's been so great, you know, since when COVID hit and we had to shut down and we went to shipping, and that was pretty much our only, thing for winery wines. It really has been fantastic for all of our customers to really reach out and stock up and drink with us, and it's been wonderful. But our shipping has definitely increased, and we've really appreciated it. It's been great. Keeps Angie really busy.
It does. So when you call, tell Angie hello. And she will watch each one of these episodes to see what we've said. So I will know exactly when she gets to that part about me saying 300 cases, because I'll hear her through the wall. So Joe or Doc, do you want to add anything to this Muscat Shannon?
I don't.
Isn't that what they did, the 60s song, Muscat Love? Wasn't that the song?
No. There was an
Probably.
R and a K.
Shannon. Hey, I got a great joke. You want to hear it?
I'm gonna say no.
What does a tick and the Eiffel Tower have in common? Doc?
I'm blank. I'm sorry.
They're both parasites. I really am trying to get kicked off of here now.
It really is. He's trying to do that whole thing where you have somebody does the dishes and they do it all wrong, and they're like, "Oh, I just didn't know," and so you're like, "Don't ever do it again." It's really what he's trying to do.
So I'm hearing that I need to start broadcasting from your house.
Yes,
From my house.
that's what we need to do.
I see. Okay, so it's food time, guys.
All right.
Yeah, racking your brain. Joe, one of the
I'm
things.
gonna go with one thing, and I think that I was just thinking the Viognier would be very nice with lobster and maybe some risotto.
Lobster risotto. Somebody's just telling me how bad my dad joke was.
Thanks, Jody.
Yeah. Okay, Doc, one wine, one pairing. What would you do?
One pie. Well, I think the Muscat Shannon would be good with foie gras. I think it'd go very nicely. The rosé is just a great aperitif taste for me, and chilled. And the Viognier, any one of a number of shellfish, but lobster would be great. Coquille Saint-Jacques would be wonderful. Any of the above.
Okay. Margaret? One wine, one pairing.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna go with Viognier, and I'm gonna say salmon for sure. And I'd like to also put in there some hummus. I think both of those would be fabulous.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely.
Rebecca?
All right, so the rosé, I know this is, I know there are two wines that I always say is for us, the rosé and the Prairie Rôti. Thanksgiving dinner, hands down, every single time. They go with the whole table. The Viognier, I'm not a big lobster girl, but I love crab. So Dungeness crab, I think would be fantastic with the Viognier. And I agree with Joe, like a seafood risotto would be spectacular. I think that'd be wonderful. With the Muscat Shannon, I really think something spicy, some spicy Thai food would probably be really good.
Probably would be very good, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. You're up, Kaylin.
Okay, so for the Jolie, I have recently come across my summertime dishes, and I'm doing a cucumber mint and watermelon salad, and I think that would be fantastic with the Jolie. It'd be beautiful, refreshing, perfect to just hang out and enjoy. I'll agree with Margaret on the salmon for the Viognier. I think that'd be beautiful. And for Muscat Shannon, something with Szechuan pepper. I don't know what, but something, some kind of dish with that.
Well, I do have a dish for the Muscat Shannon as well, after tasting this in the last couple of weeks, and I'm going to say baby abalone smothered in morel and golden chanterelle mushrooms that have been sautéed.
Yummy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm going to go. And so now I need a plane ticket to California.
They've gone up recently, sir.
Perfect time to go.
Keep it.
Okay, so Rebecca, what's on for week 61?
So week 61 is going to be our Red Premier wine selections for the May 2021. So we've got the 2015 Prairie Rôti. We have a brand new release we have never tried yet, which is the 2018 D'Estate, which is a fantastic red blend. It's another one of the La Quattro Stagioni series wine club member only wines. And then the new release of the 2018 Cabernet Sauvignon Reserve Wilmoth Family Vineyard. So 2 new releases next week, as well as the 15 Prairie Rôti that's absolutely spectacular.
Okay. And any other announcements for the wine club or anything coming up?
They're coming. Watch the announcement is watch your email.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. You want one more really bad dad joke?
No.
Yeah. Yes, that was an overwhelming yes. Okay. How do you find Will Smith in the snow? Anybody?
I already heard this one.
Look, Joe's about ready to pull the plug right there. You follow the Fresh Prince.
Terrible. I sincerely apologize to everyone watching.
Okay. I promise I'll come up with a better class of jokes next week.
All right.
Was that him gasping?
So
Any Doc, Joe, would you like to few words on closing or anything? Okay.
No, but I love these wines, and thank you for making them. It's been a treat.
Yep. Want to thank everybody for allowing us in their homes again, and thank you for your continued support. We hope everyone has a wonderful week. We will see you next Wednesday. Cheers.
Thanks.
cheers.